It has been a year since I introduced this Sea-doo onto the channel. And you know what's happened in that past year? It's sat. It's sat basically in one spot over in the corner over there of the shop, and I haven't touched it. That's about to change. We're going to start doing the process of pulling the engine out because I think inevitably that's where we're headed with it. You've seen what the oil in the filter looks like. So part of the process, we can rule out other things, like if the jet pump was locked up or if the supercharger bearings went and that locked up stuff. I've seen things like that happen before, but I really have a feeling that that's not the case with this machine. So we're going to get in here. This being an RXP has the removable section under the seat, so we can actually remove the engine quite intact. But we're going to start pulling stuff off, jet pump, drive shaft, and some things like that, get it disconnected and see if we can pull this engine out of here and maybe get a chance to actually get this thing running and take it out for a spin this year. So let's dig in and I guess see what we need to do. So, engine is out over on a workbench. I pulled a couple other little accessories off, starter motor, exhaust manifold, just to make it a little bit easier to kind of manhandle this thing around, make it a little bit lighter. At this point, we're going to pull the water pump, PTO housing, oil cooler out. I've got an oil dry pad down here. I'm going to grab some more of those because we're probably going to be spilling a little bit of oil out of the cooler and some of these components as we pull them apart. Rather avoid making an enormous mess if I can help it. So let me grab some more oil dry pads. Okay. This chunk here, how this is all carved out, when these covers get scored, like that is severe, and this gets all beat up like this, see how there's chunks of this missing? This is a fairly hard steel part, but that ceramic just grinds away at it, and when it does that, the efficiency of the oil pump goes down and you don't get enough oil pressure.
Sure enough, that is exactly what happened to this motor. It had a ceramic washer failure, and it cooked this oil pump. Absolutely destroyed this thing. That is incredible. Wow. I've never seen one worn down this bad. Take a look at the crank surfaces here. This is smooth, clean. Nothing there. This one, fine. This one's also fine. It's good. Our bearings down in here, there's a little scoring. But the crank itself is fine, but then look at that. Look at all this trash down in here. If you look at these, I don't know, that's a lot of schmoo. I'm going to pull our connecting rod bearings off too, because something that had to come from somewhere, and then down in the actual like dry sump, if you want to call it that, there's all kinds of gunk down in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's there's no bearing left. It's gone completely.
Well, sad to say, I think this Sea-Doo engine is done for. The damage to this crank is not really repairable. I tried to smooth it up a bit, see if that was a piece of bearing that I could peel off, but it looks like it has actually melted and ruined the journal there on that connecting rod bearing. Well, tearing the Sea-Doo's engine down didn't really go quite how I had hoped. I was really hoping that this would be easily rebuildable, just some bearings or something along those lines, but as you can see, there was a lot more damage down in there. The oil pumps, having been damaged by the ceramic supercharger washers, really took out a lot of other things. So, good news though. We've got some parts on the way, so in the next video in this Sea-Doo, Sea-Don't, Sea-Doesn't, whatever we're calling this thing, maybe Money Pit would be appropriate now with everything I'm spending on this crazy thing. But anyways, in the next video, you're going to get to see putting the engine together with the new parts when they arrive, and hopefully getting this thing back out on the water and running happily once again. And from there, we may just push it a little further. So stay tuned for all that stuff. We'll see you in the next video.